In this material world, there is a very sad quote that says, "What we fear most is not death, but the unlived life, according to the unknown." It is very heartbreaking to know, or to let you guys know, that these two gentlemen you're going to see in this video, or you already seen, both of them were with Anthony Joshua 7 to 10 hours ago, when Anthony Joshua with these two, healthy young men boarded the same Lexus Jeep that was meant to convey them from Lagos down to Ogun State. Both of them were inside that Lexus Jeep when the unfortunate incident struck. Through that ghastly motor accident, these two young men have been reportedly passed on. Yes, Kai, this life. More than watch the video.
Show you the streets of Nigeria. ＯCCIDÍNT, the first Iranian ever to step foot in Nigeria.
Hey, 2 times this year as well, that's crazy. April, December.
That's why you're called ＯCCIDÍNT now, bro.
ＯCCIDÍNT.
More so, according to relevant sources, Anthony Joshua returned back to Nigeria after winning the knockout fight between himself and Jake Paul. That was on 19th of December. It is not clear when he came into Nigeria, but he has been around. So while traveling to Ogun State, he traveled with these two friends, or these two guys. One of them was sitting at the passenger seat in the front side of the car with the driver, while one of them was sitting at the rear. Anthony Joshua was sitting behind the driver, and one of them, who also passed on in that accident, was sitting next to Anthony Joshua, more like sitting right behind the other guy who was also sitting in the front. And according to relevant report, the driver of that very Lexus SUV Jeep was overspeeding. He was moving technically at a speed limit greater than the allowed speed limit for that very locality, for that very Ibadan Expressway. And while trying to maneuver another vehicle, the driver lost control and then collided with a packed trailer, a stationary trailer. You know, as Lagos they be, and Nigeria they be, left back and forth, you go see plenty cars, trailer, this one, that way, don't park everywhere, and nobody's doing anything about it. And the collision resulted to immediate unaliving of the guy who was sitting in the front, the passenger side, and the guy who was sitting at the back, sitting close to Anthony Joshua. Miraculously, nothing happened to Anthony Joshua, nothing happened to the driver, even though Anthony Joshua sustained some injuries. But I can tell you, this is a miracle for Anthony Joshua. It's a miracle. Even though we can also attribute this to one of those careless, avoidable accidents. The driver was overspeeding, but another part of the rascality is the fact that our roads are not entirely good. And like I said in my first video, the traffic law enforcement is also not working in Nigeria. If there was no trailer there, possibly the SUV would have somersaulted, or I don't know. I don't want to dive into that, but we need to do better as a people. Be a law-abiding citizen when you get on the wheel. Drive within the expected, defined speed limit. It can only save your life and the life of people that are traveling with you. I, for one, I don't collect tickets. For all the years I've lived in the Western world, it was only once I have collected ticket for overspeeding. And after I got that ticket, I told myself it will never happen again. It is for your own safety. So, make haste while the sun shines. It is really a very sad one. I can't imagine how tragic, how traumatized the families of these two young men would be feeling at this material time. The grief, the heartache, that can never be healed by anyone else in this physical world. I can only but take consolation by the words of a Queen Elizabeth II that grief is the price we pay for love. The family will grieve. They will mourn these guys for the rest of their lives. And that is why death has always been classified as an irreparable loss. You can't repay it, not even at this age. If it is still a very young guy, maybe 1 year, 2 months, 3 months, the parents might say that they still have a chance of having another baby, but not at this age. And like I said, we can only take consolation from our Christian belief that when people pass on in this material world, that they have gone to somewhere better. Just according to the quote from Haruki Murakami, that death is not the opposite of life, but part of it. When I came across that very quote, I was able to review it personally to say that death is not the opposite of life, but rather a continuation of life in the opposite direction. Yes, because in the physical realm here, the flesh, the avatar, has collapsed. It has crushed and shall return back to the Mother Earth, while the spirit continues into another journey elsewhere, different from what is obtainable in this material world. There is a lot to talk about. When you begin to look into spiriticism, when you begin to look into the spiritual, what happens when one passes away? Christianity will tell us that it is appointed unto man just but once to die, and after death, judgment follows. Traditional religion believers will always believe that once a loved one has passed on from this material world, he or she becomes an ancestor who continues to intercede for the living, that life also continues in that dimension. It is terrible, and I pray that the good Lord will forgive the sins of these two young men, accept their souls into paradise, and grant them eternal happiness. And may He alone, who is the giver of life, comfort the families of these two young men and give them the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. It is traumatizing, it is tragic, it is just few days away for us all to board into the year 2026, the year of prosperity, the year of prosperous fulfillment of God's promises upon our lives. May you that is watching this video, may you not die. May the Lord God alone, who is the giver of life, grant you divine security and protect you and yours. At this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person see you. God bless you.